Alright, so I was about to go to bed. As you can see, I'm not wearing glasses whenever it's late, and I felt like I have to make this video. So there's the whole MBC, like the shocking thing about foreigners dating Korean women video. This is not a response to that. I am planning something. I think I'm going to go through with it, but this is a response to the people responding to it. This is for foreigners, because I feel like the discourse about this video, about how to handle it, how to react to it, is not going well. Here's the thing. Okay, racism is wrong. Yes, we can all agree on that. But we need to have a rational discussion about it. And here's the thing. Westerners, let's say particularly Americans, are very sensitive about racism. Even, let's say, the more racist segment of the American population, which would be conservatives, even they are afraid of being labeled as racist. Like, being racist is like the worst thing you can be in the West right now. It's kind of funny. So everyone has this very quick knee-jerk reaction to be like, that's racist, that's terrible, and to point blame and make the person feel bad and make them apologize. When people apologize, they look pretty guilty. So the thing is that people, Americans or Westerners come to Korea and they experience something like this video and they're like, this is racist, this is terrible. What you gotta understand, in the West, we've had hundreds of years to figure out that racism is a bad thing. Like, Americans came and killed almost all the Native Americans, and then there was the whole slavery thing. Like, it took a long time of interacting with multiple races to figure out, oh yeah, everyone's equal. Okay? Korea has had like less than 30 years of really interacting with a foreign, like, minority population. And even then, like, every single week I meet someone who says, like, I don't have a foreign friend. Like, a foreign friend in Korea is a pretty recent thing because there just haven't been that many foreigners. Foreigners have not been like a noticeable part of the population until recently. So, like, people are having, I guess, trouble wrapping their heads around it because Korea's pretty much always been homogenous, just one people. And that's fine, but, okay, so like the older generation, if they're more racist, that's because when they grew up, they didn't have to take into account foreigners. Yes, they should now, but we need to understand where they're coming from at least, Like, less than 30 years to wrap their heads around that racism might offend people. So the thing is, when there are instances of racism, not to come out like, oh, this is wrong, you shouldn't do that. You're lecturing. You're let's say you've taken the wisdom that you've gained from your own culture, but you're applying it to a culture that hasn't gotten the point where it has to be taught yet. So that's, I mean, yes, it is wrong, but it's not like all Koreans have gone through that experience to learn that it is something that people need to know is wrong. You need to, in order to enlighten people and maybe get the apology you want, you need to have the discussion of actually helping people understand why you're offended and why it's not a good thing to generalize, foreigners or whoever. You gotta be more sensitive about this. You can't, if you start lecturing, imposing your own values, your own cultural values, your own emotional values, your own grievances, you start like just venting them on others without engaging them, you're just gonna create more problems because they're gonna be like, oh yeah, they come into our country and they're telling us what to do. People aren't gonna respond very well to that. In fact, part of the whole thing about this program is that Westerners, the foreign guys or whatever, are kind of arrogant and, going about things the way they want. We should not create that kind of impression. We should be more responsible with our opinions. I mean, even people sometimes tell me like, oh, you speak your opinions too freely in your videos. Which I suppose that is a cultural thing for me too. And I'm not forcing people to watch my videos, I hope. But yeah, we do need to realize what the culture is and how to express, how to convey our opinions and our values clearly and in a way that people will want to listen to them and people might want to learn to them. You know, no lecturing, no telling people what's right and wrong. It is relative. There is no absolute. If it offends you, you got to make it clear why. It may seem like common sense to you, but that doesn't mean it's common sense to everyone. You got to think about the other person, especially if you're living in a foreign country. We, as foreigners, are really quite lucky here, I'd say. So many people engage me in English, like assuming I speak English, but they don't expect me to speak their language. They want to speak mine. They don't expect me to follow their customs and obligations. Like if I fail to grip something with both hands when I should, people don't care. They're not going to treat me badly. They set us up pretty well at these jobs, you know. If American businesses and American, you know, whatever, treated Koreans like, hired them and treated them like Koreans treat us, like everyone would leave Korea to go work there. So we got to keep this in perspective, really, you know. Yes, it's bad, but considering how generally how not bad our lives are here, you know, we got to be a bit more rational about this. And to be honest, I haven't seen anyone taking this video seriously. It's a pretty funny video, honestly, the way it's presenting everything. You know, yes, it is offensive, but it's not offensive to the extent that it's going to change society or change how people are going to treat you. You may feel that it reflects how people already treat you, but you know, don't bring your personal grievances into this. Just treat the video as the video. Alright, that's my 3 a.m. rambling. I hope someone's convinced. I hope you guys take it easy. Don't escalate things. Don't make it into a bigger issue than it is. It's about one video from one company. Let's focus on that.